So today's a big day on our homestead. It's the first time we're gonna harvest one of our pigs. So this is the pig that I caught when we went to pick up our goats, and we're gonna take her to the processor today. So let me give you a little bit of background on this pig that we just had processed. So this pig was the pig that I caught when we went to go pick up two of our goats from another homestead.
If y'all remember this picture, this is the crazy story behind it. It was hilarious.
And then we got our goats into the back of my Jeep. We placed them into a dog kennel so they were safe in the back of my Jeep. And then we see all these like little micro pigs running all over the place. And what was it that the gentleman told me exactly?
Well, you asked how much the pigs were. You said, I'm not going to get a pig today.
That's right.
But I'm just curious for the future, because I do want pigs someday. He's like, I'm just curious, how much do these pigs go for?
Right, and he told us the price, and I was like, oh, that's really reasonable. You know, we'll keep in touch. Down the road when I'm ready for pigs, we'll give you a call.
Yeah.
And then he told me what?
And then he said, but I'll tell you, if you catch one, you can keep it.
Right, so
as soon as the guy said that, I was like, because I know him, I was like, oh, we're getting a pig. We are getting a pig today. And I just saw that look of determination in your eyes. His eyes like lit up.
Yeah, so I was like, hey, game on. So literally I go into this pen with some older piglets. So there's several piglets in there and two sows. And I go in there, and the gentleman was like, hey, be careful of the mamas.
Yeah.
They could be a little aggressive when you're trying to get the little ones. I was like, okay, no problem. So I'm keeping an eye on those two. And I go, and I literally was trying to catch one of these little pigs, right? And I went to go grab one at first, and literally, when it moved so fast, it was like seeing multiple pigs go across in front of me at the same time. It was just, woo. And I was like, there's no way. There's just no way. So what I did is I went down to the corner and I kind of corralled them all up to the front entrance. And they were all up there, and I came walking up real slow. And then I jumped at them like this, like in the air, like I was going to catch a football. But what I didn't know is that where they were all standing, there was a kiddie pool. And in that kiddie pool was all of their stuff. It was just, ugh.
It was so gross.
But I landed in it.
He did.
Everything. Boom, right in there. But I came up with a pig, and I was like, it's a girl. So real quick, when I picked her up, she was like, and literally I walked her over to my Jeep, and I placed her in the dog kennel with the two goats. And I closed the Jeep up real quick.
The guy that owned the pigs and I were laughing so hard. And I cannot believe that as video creators that I did not have film rolling at that moment, because it's seriously one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. And honestly, one of the funniest things I've ever done in my entire life. I mean, it was amazing. And I will never ever forget that. I don't think he will either. So it was a lot of fun. So then we're driving home on the freeway. We have two goats and a pig in the back of my Jeep, and windows are up. We're rolling. So we drive home.
And you're like soaking wet from nastiness.
Yeah.
The homesteading life, right?
Exactly. And it's a Jeep thing, y'all understand. Like it was amazing. Like it fully, like we didn't stop anywhere. We just went straight home. So I get home, and the pig and the goats are in the back, and I open it up, and I'm looking at them. We call the kids out. Kids come out and they're like, Dad, there's a pig in the back. And I was like, of course. Like, we're collecting animals here for the homestead. So we got the pigs and the goat in there. So I took the goats out first and placed them into the barn, into a stall where they were nice and safe.
So along with the pig, this was the day that we got our goats, Lucy and Rosanna.
And then we had an extra stall, so I took the pig out, and she stayed in the stall for a little while. Well, she was really little. She was safe. That way no predators would get her or anything like that. While I finished the pig pen in the back by the rest of our animals. And so we did that put up some hog panels, put a nice little shelter in, put some electric wire around.
Just like our goat shelter, we used reclaimed wood from the deck, right, to build the pig shelter.
Good morning.
We did, so it was all reclaimed wood, everything I had right here on the property. It was really easy to put together. So basically just put nice little things so they wouldn't get rained on directly, and also so they had a place to stay in the shade. So when it came to dispatching our pig, we were very fortunate to be able to attend a pig butchering class at our friend Jess and Jeremiah's farm. And when we were there, we learned the specific techniques to dispatch a pig properly for having it butchered. Now, when I dispatched our pig, it was absolutely perfect. Everything went by the book.
Yeah, you did such a good job.
So for the first time doing it on my own, it was perfect. Absolutely perfect. And so very, very thankful for being given the opportunity to attend that class, because we definitely learned a lot there.
Yeah, and we learned some great butchering techniques as well. The pig butchering class was with Hand Hewn Farm, and Doug and Andy do a great job. I'll link their info below. We just aren't set up with all of the equipment, the proper cooling for the pig as we butcher it yet. We want to get there, but for that reason, we took it somewhere to be butchered.
So we've arrived at the processors here.
All right, so here we are. We're at the skinny shack. I'm here with Robert.
Hey.
And we're picking up the pig. And I tell you, it's in 3 plastic bags right here. And I am so impressed. So definitely been a really good experience. Me and Lisa are looking forward to having some of these pork chops and some of the sausage. So thank you, Robert, for doing all this. We really appreciate it. Good deal. Well, hey, thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
We got 60 pounds of meat back from our pig. So this is all sausage. We got pork chops. We've got 2 pork butts. These are ribs. Nice pile of bacon. I think there's about 7 or 8 of them there. This is a pork belly, and we do know how to cook it, so I'm really excited about that. This is a smoked ham. This is an uncooked ham, and then these are some ends for soup or something like that.
So this Friday, I'm actually going to be going to our friend Jesse and Chassie's home. It's at Willowbrook Homestead, and they have the 2 pigs that Jesse picked up with me. We're gonna dispatch those at his house, and then we're gonna take them to the butcher's, the same one that we took our pig to on this Friday, because they saw our results and they're really happy to see it. So they're gonna do the same thing with their pigs. So this will be good. So that's definitely part of the homesteading lifestyle, right? Because you're learning stuff at some people's homes, at their homesteads.
Yep.
And then you're trying it, your homestead, and then you go to somebody else's homestead and you share your knowledge with them and help them out with what they need help with. So definitely really like this lifestyle, because I feel like we're kind of getting, actually not kind of, I really feel that we are gaining a really strong homesteading family around here with other families that are interested in doing these same activities as we are.
Yeah. I've been using the word edutainment. It's like every time we get together with other homesteaders, it's entertaining, but it's also educational. We had a barbecue at our house, and we had some other local homesteaders were here. My friend Elena from Dragon Wool Acres, that's where we got our rabbits from. She showed us all how to wild forage. She learned a lot of great wild foraging from growing up in Russia. So she was able to take us out on our land and really show us some cool things that we didn't even know that we had. So we are currently towing our golf cart with the tractor, and this has been pretty funny. We were out foraging on our land. My friend Elena is here, and she was showing us all of the cool edibles on our land. and so we got stuck on the golf cart, and so now we've got our John Deere out, and we are towing our golf cart behind us.
This was a ladies' golf. All ladies.
And then recently we got together with Cass and Jeremy from Mojo Homestead, and they showed us, I learned how to milk a goat. We've got Nigerian dwarf goats that we are going to be milking after we kid them. It's a ways off, but anyway, she showed me her process for milking a goat, and so I'm really excited about that. And then they were also showing us how to can. So it's just really neat to get together with other people in the homestead community, because I've mentioned this in other videos. You learn from them and they learn from you, and it's just really, really awesome. We're so excited that we now have in our freezer, we've got our chickens that we butchered. And what else do we have in there?
We have a rabbit in there.
We have rabbit in there. We processed our first rabbit. We processed our first duck.
Yep.
And then we also have quail. We haven't processed the quail yet, but I've been making sourdough. We've got lots from coming out of the garden. So it's really been cool to be on this kind of self-sufficiency journey where, first of all, the food tastes so much better. Like, everything just tastes amazing. There's people who, I've seen in Facebook groups and things like that, and they're talking about like the meat that they're processing being tough. We haven't had that experience. Like with our chicken, we brined and then we spatchcocked, and it is literally the best chicken that we've ever had. We've had 2 meals from our pig so far. We just got our pig back 2 days ago.
Yep.
And so we've already had pork chops and bacon, and both of them were so good. Seriously, the pork chops were the best I've ever had. And the bacon, it was a really different experience with this bacon. What did you think the bacon was like?
I think the bacon was the fat content in our pig was pretty high.
Yeah.
So the bacon was definitely fatty. So you cooked it down. There wasn't as much meat per se, but the meat that was there, it literally just melted in your mouth almost. It was so tender. And so first thing I made with it, I made breakfast burritos with the bacon, and oh my gosh, it was so good. And then this morning, we used the bacon again to make a BLT with egg sandwich. And that was good on our sourdough. So literally the sandwich that we ate this morning was literally everything from our homestead.
Yeah.
Completely. So yes, it was really cool.
Yeah, so I've been having all these beautiful, here, I'll show you. I've got them right in front of me, but I've had all these beautiful tomatoes coming out of the garden. If anybody knows what variety this is, let me know. I think it might be Paul Robeson, but I'm still learning about heirloom tomatoes, so I'm not sure. But when I've had all these beautiful tomatoes coming out, and then Charlie was like, would you please make a loaf of sourdough? And so I made a loaf of sourdough, and for the first time I added some wheat into it, and it turned out really, really good. Yep. So this morning we had a breakfast we had our homemade sourdough, our eggs that we raised, from the chickens that we raised, and then our bacon from the pig. And it was a great breakfast, and we had it out on the porch, and it was a really nice experience. Then I came inside, and the worst homesteading dog ever had the loaf of sourdough on the couch. So free dog to anyone who wants a dog.
Yeah. Cool.
If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, Homesteading and Hungry, I'm always doing these little posts like free dog, because he is just the worst. Took our sourdough and he ate it, so yeah, it was awesome.